Hello. Let's get sorted. There we go. Alright, so let's get some chat on screen. Here we are. Hi folks, how are we doing? Here we are. Oh god, no, every time. There we go. Yours had better be off.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Oh, nice. Rude. Anyone there? No. There we go. Who we got? I'm going to go with George. I'm just going to sit here in silence. Or I can just talk to myself. That works too. What's everyone been doing? You're not even there. Don't know. Just realised that that's me and you. No, there we go. We got George now. I'm going to guess George. Hey, Ralph. You getting a bit fed up of having a wire in your face? What do you want? Want to go out? Want to go out and see Hugo later? Later? Not yet. You got a bubble nose. Oh, nice. Imagine this. Someone logs on to a live video. Emma's first. Someone logs on to a live video and all they've got is me talking to Ralph. It's just riveting viewing, Ralph, isn't it? How are you, Emma? You okay? Keeping busy? I'm just gonna get that red chair leg out of shot. That's annoying me. Move your chair leg. It's better.
No, it's crispy on that.
What have you and Parker been up to, Emma? You've been busy. I'll chat there. Hold on. I am without chat on here. There it is. No, not yet. We've got a date for 3 weeks' time finally, so yeah, we can actually. Well, it's still 3 weeks. It's hard to pack or do anything. It's still limbo, but we've got a date, so it's good. Yeah, we're happy. We become locals soon. I've got. Yeah, morning, Zoe. Is that an early Zoe? What on earth? Morning, Lisa. We expect you to be early. Zoe, we don't expect to be early.
Especially after
after a heavy night of drinking, Zoe. I should probably take this opportunity to say happy birthday to Zoe. It's my sister who's on there. She was old yesterday. So happy birthday, Zoe. Is that a hangover not moving off the sofa then? I just thought, Zoe, that's it's the big birthday next year, isn't it? Look at this, everyone's punctual to it today. I'm impressed. We have one day off and everyone's missing us so much. So Zoe, you say there was a Harry Potter movie and a drinking game. Is that the Harry Potter drinking game? So is that 2 drinks every time? I should not have said that and stuff like that. Oh, that sounds good. When lockdown's over, we'll do it on one of the other ones. trying to think, who have we got? Who have we got that's not said hello? Who are we missing? Just work if I do that. There we go. Oh, you're just trying to bump our numbers up, though, are you? So I take it the new telly has YouTube on, so you can watch us on there. Big in nice high quality. Well, not really. I don't think a live stream goes over 1080, so you're not going to be watching me in 4K, thank God. Hi, Jane. Is that all three of you as well, Jane? I think we're missing Sally and George. And then I think that'll be everyone. So we'll give it another minute or so, and we might start really early for once. Oh. Sort of, kids are around. So while we're waiting for the last couple, I'll just gauge your interest. Who would be interested if we did a final episode once the studio's back open and did it in studio? So a non-online one for once. So you all actually come in, have a bit of a go with some lights and things like that in the studio. Obviously once we can do it safely, but would anyone be interested? Will I supply refreshments? I'm sure we can do some refreshments, yes. I mean, I'm not promising anything posh, but we can do teas and coffees and squash. And maybe a pack of custard creams. We'd probably, I mean, hopefully, as long as all timings work out, be doing it summer holidays, hopefully, so while people are off. But I thought it'd be really nice, especially as a reward for everyone's hard work, is actually getting to come in and have a go in a professional studio a little bit. Just wanted to make sure people were interested before we kind of put the thoughts too far and ended up with no one turning up. So we've got to make sure you're interested. Oh, excuse the noises. Well, that's Ralph, but I don't know if anyone else has got a hurricane going on outside, but everything's blowing around everywhere. I had to go save our fence before. Ralph, it's just a bin. They're falling over, okay?
Come here.
Do you want to come here? Come on camera if you're making noises. Ralph, come here. Come on, you're making me shout on a microphone. Not fun. Do you want a treat? We're going for a walk afterwards. Yeah, see that you want. Come here. Come here. Come say hello to it. Ralph notoriously procrastinates. Here we go. Come and say hello to everyone. No, Jane, we've got a date, so we're moving in 3 weeks' time. So we're all actually happening finally. But we're not arguing that it's a little bit longer than we anticipated, but because we've got a date, we're happy it's happening. I've still not heard anything from Sally and George. They're the only people I think we're waiting on today. Ah, there we go. There he is. Just in time for Ralph. Who's going to get really grumpy if this wind's that bad. How many bins can fall over that you can hear? Swing into shop. Right then, I think we will carry on. I'm going to assume we've got most of you here. I'm going to use my little iPad rest. Go with the normal introduction. Hello, welcome to photography. Oh, dear me. Hello, welcome to the Photography Club. I'm Gavin Rolfe. This is Jenny Rolfe.
Hello.
Hand. This is Ralph Rolfe, and we are Rolfe and Co Photography from Macclesfield. I think you've all done this before, so I'm not going to read all that. I have the same kind of notes that I've added to every week, just written there. Getting towards the end of everything, I think now. I just skipped on. I don't know where I've written everything. Right then, yeah. So, amazing response. Everyone, like, the project has been absolutely amazing. Thank you everyone for sending so much stuff in and working so hard on it as well. I can clearly see that you've listened, you've looked at the inspiration, and you've taken it on board and then created your own work, which is absolutely amazing. We loved looking through them yesterday. Obviously I said we've got a bit of a prize for this, so we're going to do the really annoying passive sitting on the fence thing, and we're going to make you guys and our customers pick the winner. I'm sorry. We loved them all and we found it very, very hard to pick, and we like different ones for different reasons. So we're going to go to a popular vote, I'm afraid. So they're going to go up on Facebook in a couple of hours' time. Most likes or reactions, so hearts, angry faces, whatever it is, the most reactions will win, and we will cut it off 11:15 a.m. on Tuesday. So once we're live, so at this time on Tuesday, we'll stop the votes. Jen will count them up. That's okay, Jen? Yeah. Probably screenshot them, then we can see them all, and we'll announce the winner live, so it can everyone can see what's going on and who's winning. So that should be really good. I'm really sorry to do that, but we really struggled to decide, and we thought this would be quite a fun way of getting you all interacting. That kind of leads me neatly onto a bit of sad news. Next Friday is going to be our last online episode. Decided that because we've got to move in 3 weeks' time, that we're going to have to come a point where I take this desk apart and things like that, so we have to kind of set an end point now. But obviously we're going to do Tuesdays where we recap today's and look at the winner of the project, and then next Friday we'll do one last proper episode. So for next Friday we haven't got anything set in stone yet, but we want to hear your ideas and what you want to learn. So keep talking to us about that, and we'll write something up for next Friday, do a proper special episode and go out with a bang, do something really fun that hopefully we can all do live, because we're not going to have a recap episode on that one. And as I mentioned before, I would like to invite you all in to an in-studio episode once this is all over. Hopefully that'll give you all a chance to meet, work together, and obviously have a bit of a go in our studio. Should be really fun. So I did decide we're going to do a bit of a mini episode. I had a bit of inspiration yesterday when looking through all your work and things. So we're going to do a mini episode after we've gone through the project. I'll set some homework, and you can look at submit the homework for next Tuesday as well. So let's have a look through everyone's. I'm going to leave them on screen long enough so you can talk about them, so we can have a little bit of a back and forth about what everyone thinks about everyone's. So please chat away. That's what it's all about. Right then, let's go straight into the pictures. So it was Great British Countryside as a triptych was your brief. So first of all, Debbie. She's not online today, so you can all be as critical as possible. What does everybody think? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to not be full screen. Hang on. There you go. You lose my ugly mug for a bit. What does everyone think of these then? So obviously, one of the things we talked about was making it work as a set from a retouch point of view. So making sure everything was consistent. So we've got this lovely black and white tone going across all of them with, I think because you've got the heavy sunlight, you've got those really crisp shadows that work well with it. And as you said, yeah, Jane, your symmetry going across all three images, that they're mirroring each other but being completely different as well. Dramatic, yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, and I love the kind of the bracketing of the two on the outside. Adds a lot of interest, and I think your eyes drawn from all three constantly back to the texture on the tree. It's kind of everything you see of it, isn't it? What do you think?
What do I think?
Jen's been put on the spot when I've asked her what she thinks.
I think they're very dramatic as well. I love them.
Yeah. Really effective. Love them.
I think there's a good use of shape, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. You've got kind of the tree almost forms a bit of a triangle, doesn't it? Which I really like. And yeah, there's lots of triangles going on actually, looking through all of them. Because the trees either side are kind of full of triangles. And the horizon matches on all three, which is really nice. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Now, who have we got next? Emma's. Talking again, lines matching. I really like that. I think there's quite a lot of people who've done this where the lines kind of flow through all three images. It's that consistency. These are really nice. Again, the treatment's perfect across all three. Lovely. It's kind of three different crossings of the river stream, isn't it?
I don't think you've put them in the right order, but...
Have I put them in the wrong order?
Yeah.
We're sorry.
Just those two. Yeah,
So the bridge is supposed to be in the middle.
No.
Right.
Two.
My apologies, Emma. I've put those so the outside ones are the wrong way round. To be honest, they work both ways for me. So I don't, yeah. You could actually put these three in any order, which is really nice. Yeah, it's really nice actually that you've got a central theme, kind of keeping this as a set, and the treatment the same and things like that, but you've got three very different images at the same time, which works really well. Definitely makes me think of a walk in the British summer. There's clouds, it's very green, stream, there's some bit of people kind of marring the countryside constantly. Lovely. Alright. George. Got a very kind of low-mo kind of look to it. Street photography look, but obviously up Mac Forest, isn't it? Love the yellows. Love that the greens are very yellow in these, George, so it's a nice treatment with those. What does everyone think? So the one tiny bit of constructive criticism I give you on these, George, is just looking at that middle one. I think we've got a little bit of movement in there. So I would just make sure you're holding that steady when you're taking it. It's quite often difficult when you're walking. I think the habit is just to shoot and walk, but just kind of taking your time to stop for a second, because otherwise I really like them. And I like the way we get a curve kind of coming through them. I'm pointing, but no one can see me. That's a bad habit. Yeah, as you said, you've got the steps of layers going backwards. And lots of different tones of greens, yellows, blues. So you've kind of got your and then just colours going on there as well. Lovely. Let's keep going. Oh. And we have Jane's. Love these. Got a very cottagey, obviously with the middle one, but I think the tones work very well with cottagey kind of vintage feel to it. I like the way you've got a single kind of point of focus in the middle of the outside too, and then a big point of focus in the background of the middle one, so they're kind of bookending the two kind of centralised ones either side. But again, really nice treatment going across them all. Those colours are matching in every single one as well. We've just got the reds and oranges picking up from the poppy. You can see it then in the flower pots. You kind of notice it more in the rainbow as well. Excuse me, my voice is going croaky. What does everyone think?
Got a good British theme as well in those.
Yeah. Yeah, the poppy's a really nice standalone image actually as well, Jane. Just kind of ignoring the other two for a sec because I love them as a set, but I really like that as a single image. Yeah, there's nice textures flowing actually, because like you say, Lucy, you've got the stones and bricks in all three. I don't know whether they're taken near to each other or not, but that consistent theme is lovely. Wonderful. Right, let's have a look at the next one. Oh, we have to press it there. Lisa. I'm loving the use of the hidden camera. Really interesting to see and think of this. Yes, Jane, sorry, just going back to what you've said there, my delay. Yeah, flowers in the wind, never fun to photograph. Jen does a lot of that and constantly moving, never easy. And yes, with this one, so very, very British summer theme. But yeah, completely different, so a bit of a unique take on the brief, which I like. And very typical British summer birds as well. I can't see the right time. Ah, hence the water on the lens. I can see that now. Yeah, it's completely consistent because nothing's moving, nothing's changing, just the birds, which is... And obviously I like that you've got the different, particularly the far right one, you've got completely different weather. That's a good point. The middle one's got flowers out, but the other two don't. I didn't even spot that before.
The one on the right does. It's the one on the left doesn't. But that's because they're over time.
They are. How interesting.
Yeah, the one on the right does. You can't see.
Yeah, because they're going in date order, aren't they, here? It's good 3rd, 10th, 13th. Nice. Interesting. Okay. Matt and Holly. Now, I'm guessing from what Jane said that she somehow managed to get the kids to work together on this, which is really quite impressive in itself. So I think it's almost a round of applause to Jane to getting the kids to work together on something when they're stuck together all the time. That's pretty impressive. But I really like this. This is White Nancy, for those of you that don't know. And it's a really kind of quirky way of looking at it. And I love that these the 3 very individual images of White Nancy and the different views you get of it, but they just work together as a set. You've got the symmetry in the middle and the 2 on the outside completely different, but they kind of bookend it again, which I really like.
Yes.
So I'd be very interested to know, guys, whether you used a preset on these or whether you just did it yourselves and made it up. Yes, different perspectives though is a good way of looking at that. White Nancy's great because you can see it from a long way, and to walk it you kind of come round, so you keep getting different views of it. So this obviously it makes me think of the walk because it is it, but it makes me think of the way you see it from different angles. This is almost in reverse. But yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that, fighting over a phone to edit on Jane. Yeah, you can definitely see that being hard work. But yeah, I'm impressed that you got them working together. That's brilliant. And they produced amazing images from it. Lovely stormy skies going on. Again, very British summertime. We can't really argue with that, can we? That's good. I'm glad they managed to not see the banner, because I really like the bunting, because again, that's a very British thing for me. Colourful bunting makes me think of kind of cake tents and things. So it's really interesting having that, but I think the actual banner would have been, I don't know, it kind of doesn't work as well in the photo, so it's really interesting they managed to get that out. Lovely. All right, let's keep going. Peppers, who I don't think is live with us today. What does everyone think? So I have to go quiet for a minute just to let you guys catch up with me. Do you see Amalfi across all 3? Yeah, I thought they probably did, but I like that. I love the mirroring of shapes on these. It's very, very impressive because, again, 3 completely separate shots with different colours. Obviously using the same treatment, but you've got different colours in the images. You've got more yellows in the left, more very vibrant greens on the right, and the browns colours completely separate in the middle. But all of them having those exact same lines running through them is very impressive. One of my favourite sets of these.
I like the angles that they're taken from. So I like that on the right, it looks like she's got down into the grass on the floor. So it looks like that, and shot through the grass. And they've all been taken a little bit different.
Yeah, you've got kind of through the grass, looking down and looking up, and they all have the same shapes in them. It's really observant. I'm really impressed with these. As you say, Jane, it's going to be very hard to choose, hence why we left it to you guys and we didn't do it. We took the easy way out there. But we will vote as well. But you can like multiple ones. There's nothing wrong with that. You feel free to like your own. We're not judging you for doing that. Everyone, I mean, you don't have to as well. Yeah, again with these, I think one of the most important things for a triptych for me is each picture should stand on its own, but they should also stand as a 3. And this is, yeah, a very good way of doing that. And most of them have done that really, really well, so I'm impressed. Excellent. And we have Sally's. What are everyone's thoughts? I really love with these picking up those oranges in every single shot. Again, I'm not sure what preset it is, but I really like that you've got the oranges everywhere. The greens kind of become insignificant, which I think in British photography, when you photograph in the countryside, green often takes over and becomes sometimes a bit of a hindrance. You can get too much of it. And I love that it's all about the orange, because we've got orange in the bricks, orange in the grass on the left. We've got the heather in the hills in the middle and some in the rocks. And then the rust and the grass and the heather on the right. It's just a really nice balance. One tiny little point for me on this one, Sally, is that the ratio is different to the one on the right to the other two. So I think we've got 4:3 left and middle, and the right one looks almost square. So I'd just chop it off a little bit. I left it as it was, but I'd just lose a little bit of the path because it's all about the fence for me. But again, we've got 3 really great standalone images that just work together perfectly. You can imagine I think this is what I mean by having something that works together and stands alone. That if you put those up on the wall, you want to be able to walk along and look at each one and enjoy each one, but at the same time stand back and enjoy them as a set. And that's what we're kind of aiming for here. Yeah, I really love them. I can imagine them in a room with kind of maroons and creams and things like that going really, really well. Yeah. Just having that step away from maroon with the dark orange would pick out really nicely. I think it could work really well. Wonderful.
Love it.
Right, and these are Zoe's, last but not least. You might notice I did them in alphabetical order. It's the easiest way to find an order to put them in. What does everyone think? To me, this is what I think of when I think of a walk in the British countryside. I know I said about green before taking over, but this works for this one. Again, we've got that green and blue really, really strong. Good use of colour theory with it. And bookending it with the tower on either side is the whole building. I'm assuming tower, I can't see the top of it, obviously. Really kind of bracketing the image and kind of keeping your eyes in towards the middle, so it's constantly guiding you back to the middle.
I think the because it's so vibrant, I think the green, because the green, there's so much blue to go with the green. It's nice. The green doesn't take over, whereas sometimes on a dreary day, it can just look very green and pale.
Yeah. I think the blue balances it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks great.
I think the interesting thing as well is that actually you've got more blue in both the left and right images than you have green, but you've got way more green in the middle. So probably across the 3 images, we've got equal amounts of green and blue. And again, it's the same with the negative space we talk about. There's a lot of negative space in the left and right, but very little in the middle. And again, that's the balancing out of amounts of negative and positive space. Wonderful. Right. Hope everyone loves. Does anyone have particular favourites going through all those? I mean, obviously we're going to see who your favourites are because you're going to like them. They are going to be on our main Facebook page, so our customers are going to hopefully vote as well. It just gives us a bit more scope. I didn't want it just to be limited to you guys voting. It's much more fun if we get our... How many likes have we got?
Where?
On Facebook? 2,000?
No, not quite.
Not quite. 1,800 odd likes on Facebook, hopefully getting a proportion of those voting and getting 20 odd likes on each one so that you've got a little bit more of a spread for the votes and a bit more realistic. But yeah, as I say, I will try and put them on as soon as possible. I mean, even Jen could be putting them on now, maybe?
Yeah.
So that you can get voting straight away. Feel free to share your favourites, share your own, whatever. It's great, you know, get people voting. We'll do an explanation on it so that it makes sense to people who've no idea what this is and that they can vote, but they'll be up as a set of 3. Each picture will be all 3 like I'm showing you them now. Yeah, we really struggled, Sally, and we just wanted to make more of it. We were so impressed with everything, we wanted to share them anyway, and what better way to share them than get people liking and then even more people see them. So hopefully, yeah, we should get some interaction, get some people liking them. And good luck to everyone. And as I said, it'll be 11:15 on Tuesday will be the cut-off. So it'll literally cut off while you're live with me. So we can announce it and we'll all work it out together and do the maths and test Jen's maths while I'm talking. So yeah, that's wonderful. Right, let's get my ugly mug back on screen. Is everyone keeping up with me? There we go. Whew. Am I up with the chat? Good, yes, I've caught up. So, as I said, I did want to do another little bit of a lesson because I've kind of copped out on it for the last week or so. So I had a bit of inspiration of something to do. So we're going to call this a mini lesson. I'm going to try and get through it fairly quickly. But I will give you some homework at the end and we'll have that back for Tuesday and we'll go through that on Tuesday as well as the Wizards of the Project. So this topic's got a bit of an art history kind of vibe to it, something that we've not really touched upon. So I did feel like we had to at some point, and this felt like the right thing to talk about. It's a favourite subject of one of our photography lecturers at uni. So a bit of a shout out to Dave Noble because he must have bored us for at least 10 hours total on this subject. So we should have been able to easily write a little episode on this for you. So hopefully, I'm sure I'll never see this, but yeah, shout out to him for making me fall asleep in a lecture with a hangover about this subject. But I obviously listened because I took it on board and it's something I use all the time. So hopefully I can pack it in quite quickly. Some of you may be familiar with this, some of you may not, but hopefully I can kind of briefly cover it for you and more importantly cover how you can use it as well. Right then. So remember what order I put these slides in. So we are talking about the decisive moment. Now before we carry on, what could the decisive moment possibly be? What could it refer to? A bit of interaction for you and you can help me out here. What do you think that means? If you've heard of it already and you know what I'm talking about, even better. I will be very impressed. Yeah. Ralph, I've got your hairs all over the screen here. So, the decisive moment. Be interested to see what you read into that, those 3 words, 2 important ones, and what you will make of it before I explain it. So I'm just gonna. I just remembered while Jen's typing up the public vote, we are still going to announce a champion next Friday, based on all of the images across all of it, to win a little bundle of prizes. We haven't forgotten that. We will still be doing it. And we will take everything into account across it. So we'll probably add up number of wins. I'm sure there'll be a tie in there somewhere anyway. And that is going to be the point where we actually have to make a decision. So here, none of this sitting on the fence malarkey. I think Jane's doing a pretty good job there. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else got any thoughts on what the decisive moment could be? You little Ralph. What are you doing? You sleepy? We worked you too hard. You bored of us? Yeah, that. The other one. Moment to decisive. Yeah, it's probably pretty good. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about it. I've got lots written down here. I made lots of notes. I will probably read them all in the wrong order. Bumble them. Is that right? Bungle them completely. But I hopefully get the point across, which is the important thing anyway. So the decisive moment refers to the work and theories of French photographer and Magnum co-founder Henri Cartier-Bresson. He theorised that photography was the art of capturing the decisive moment. So pretty much what you were saying, guys. Yeah, nailed it completely. Yeah, so Henri Cartier-Bresson. I've popped that on screen, so if anyone did want to write it down and have a look at any of his work. So he's born, I think it was 1908, so we're talking kind of early photojournalism and street photography, mostly in France. So the theory has kind of forever been epitomised by this image, and this was the image our lecturer went on about for ages and ages. So this image kind of shows the perfect moment that this man, he appears to be floating in the air. I hope you can all see it clearly, but Cartier-Bresson's captured in this image the moment after the man's jumped off the ladder, but before his foot hits the water. So the image demonstrates it perfectly, because obviously the moment his foot hits the water, we get ripples. So he kind of appears to be floating. So there's no other moment in time that he'd be able to capture that, because he didn't have ripples in the water. Everything would be changed. It's that perfect, that decisive moment that picture works. Hang on, sorry, I'm just checking my notes, make sure I've covered everything right there. Yeah, so it's the only moment that image could possibly have existed. So it's the decisive moment that he chose to press that shutter and get that image. I mean, he did that all through a narrow gap in a fence, so that's pretty impressive that he managed to capture that. But that decision making of when to take the picture, not just his timing, it's his decision making, that knowing when he took that picture, that's what that would look like. So a pretty amazing quote from him here as well that kind of summed it up. So your eye must see a composition or an expression that life itself offers you, and you must know with intuition when to click the camera. It's perfect. And this is something that at Rolf & Co we use daily when we're open. Even though we're often setting up and planning that moment, Cartier-Bresson was observing and capturing the moment. You know, there's nothing wrong with tweaking the circumstances and getting that moment right in advance, then knowing when to capture it as well. So, you know, we tend to plan it, set things up to get it right, just to kind of get the circumstances right and then capture the moment and keep it natural. But the key is knowing what that moment is and when to press the shutter. So it doesn't have to be someone jumping on water or jumping in the air or a splash of water. It could be as simple as knowing when someone's going to smile, or knowing what thing is going to make someone laugh and when to capture that laugh. Because let's face it, about 90% of a laugh is pretty ugly. So you want to capture the bit where someone actually looks happy in it. Obviously we're blessed these days, unlike Cartier-Bresson, to have technology that makes capturing that moment easier. So whether it's taking lots of pictures and picking the one, the skill is in knowing and shooting at the exact moment and capturing the perfect moment. So whether that's the smile that you spent 10 minutes building up to with a toddler and just capturing the moment that the only time they smile in the entire hour you've got with them, or the moment the water drops into a perfectly still puddle for the first time and you get that perfect little splash. There's different ways of doing it and looking at it. My tip for you is patience. If you keep just shooting and shooting and shooting randomly, it's not a mindful thing. You need to think about when that moment's going to happen and make a conscious decision, which is obviously something I've talked about in kind of every episode, is that conscious decision of when to take that photo. So kind of less is more. Be patient. Know what the moment is that you're looking for. So know what it is before you take it and then take it. So again, it's that conscious decision that makes the difference. So we'll go back to his quote just after what I've said. Your eye must see a composition or an expression that life itself offers you. So what he's saying is he didn't set them up. He was an observer, a journalist, a street photographer. I'm not saying it has to be that. Obviously my way is a little bit different, but I'm not Cartier-Bresson. But he's saying observe something and then have the intuition to know when to take it. That intuition isn't necessarily something he just has. It's not a talent he was born with. You know, that's come over time and learning and observing and thinking. So just having that mindfulness to know what you're looking for and take it at the exact right moment is just a thought. It's just that conscious decision to do it. So how can you apply that to your images? So this is perfect actually, because a few weeks ago a lot of you said that you wanted to take better photos of kids and the family. So there was obviously loads of other things in there, but that was kind of a key thing a lot of you said. And this is an ideal way of kind of thinking of it, is that rather than faking those moments, is capturing real ones. So again, when we're in the studio, this is something we are always trying to do, is to capture genuine, decisive moments. So not telling someone to smile, that's not a decisive moment. Someone can hold a fake smile for ages. Well, toddlers can't, but an adult probably can, and it's not a decisive moment. The decisive moment is capturing something natural and unique that really shows something about that person. So capturing real ones for you guys, so either as friends, family or parents of the people you're photographing, that should be you should be the right person to do that. That's the easiest thing. Obviously when I'm doing it in the studio, I'm having to take my time to learn what that moment is and what the thing is that will create that moment. You probably should already know it. I mean, it might be something I'd ask a customer, but you're kind of in the ideal position to create and tweak that moment and tweak the circumstances to get what you want. So a really good example would be, I'm sorry to pick you out on this, but Emma, if you're photographing Parker, you know, knowing what makes him smile, if you just want a natural photo of him smiling, knowing what makes him smile, you're going to know better than anyone. Setting that up, sitting with the camera ready, and just taking your time to work on that smile or whatever expression you're looking for from him and capture that decisive moment because you've done all the work to set it up. So that's your decisive moment, is that little moment that you capture the perfect image of him laughing or smiling, but you've built up to it to create that decisive moment. Right, yeah, so lots of me talking, sorry, I've kind of gone on and on and on there. Before we move on, what does everyone think? Does that make some sense to everyone? Oh, there we go. Sorry, Emma, that's me picking up. I haven't got this conversation open. I've kind of closed it while I've been talking. Absolutely, Emma. So you've seen that. I thought Parker was a perfect example actually there, because I love his little no thank you when you ask him to do something. It's just the cutest thing in the world. But just knowing what's going to work on someone and just taking that time to get them to do what you want, but naturally. Any thoughts, anyone, before we move on? As I said, I just rambled for a minute there. Probably more than I typed, which is shocking as well. Oh, okay, Ralph. You have thoughts on that? What are your thoughts? You fed up? Did I talk too much? That's a yes. Sorry, I rambled. Hopefully, my rambling made sense. Jen, did my rambling make sense? Jen wasn't listening. That's not helpful, is it?
I'm doing the pics.
I'll give her all credit. She had to sit through our lecturer talk about that for hours, so she already knows it. So I will ask you a couple more questions on this in a moment, but obviously I've talked lots and lots and lots, so I've done a little video of showing you how photographers use this. So done it as a little bit of a story. We've started with a few Cartier-Bresson images. There's one very, very famous one in there you will all know, which is, I think it's the third image in, which is the decisive moment. And it is, I think sometimes as well, the decisive moment can be that moment, or it can be, in the case of the third image in, a summary of, what was it, 6 years in one moment. And that's the beautiful thing. That decisive moment can be taken however you want, that you are capturing lots of moments in one moment. So if that's a family image, it's capturing a lifetime of their relationship in one moment. So the really important thing with this video is looking at how I've started with Cartier-Bresson and moved on to other photographers and other styles, and kind of a bit of a story, thrown up a few of our images in there as well. And it's showing how, dare I say it, how right Mr. Cartier-Bresson was and still is after 100 years, and how that decisive...
Here's what I found.
Okay. Thank you for that, Watch. It's nice to know you're listening. Yeah, is how right after 100 years, that decisive moment, while things have changed, technology's changed, everything's changed, he's still right. The decisive moment is what photography is. So watch the video. Tell me what you think afterwards, because I think you'll enjoy this. All right, where are we? And go. Please say I've fired everyone up massively again. Is everyone pumped and excited? I've lost track of my slides here. What does everybody think? Let's bring my chat back up. Let's have a look. Did anyone have any favourites looking through those? I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, Jane, that's a really good example, actually. I think an interesting thing with that is it's quite often hard to get without. It's one of those things that relies on really great equipment, unfortunately. Something like, Zoe, if you want... Sorry, I shouldn't interrupt myself. It's useless. Athletics is quite a hard thing to photograph because, yeah, it relies on quite expensive and specific equipment quite a lot of the time because you're standing quite far away. You're wanting to separate background. You're wanting to zoom all the way in. That's not very easy to do with a phone. And that's why actually one of the ones in there of the hurdler is a really good example because it's fake. You know, it's set up completely. But if you wanted to capture the perfect athletics shot, that is actually one of the best ways to do it. So the homework is going to be that. So that's a really good one. I'd be really interested to see what you can capture. And one of the keys to this is going to be keeping things simple and keeping it all about the moment and not about other things. The baboon, yeah, it's a really nice set, and I think it was it World Wildlife Photographer of the Year last year? One was those set. It's some hot baths in, I feel like it's Thailand, and the macaque monkeys who bathe in them, and they bathe each other, and it's a beautiful set of images. So that was just a good one because it was laughing. It's the decisive moment, but there's some really beautiful portraits of all these monkeys, like straight on portraits where they're kind of covered in these kind of moisture with steam around them, and they're all soaking wet. It's really, really cute. I'll try and post a link to them if I can find them online because they're beautiful. And yeah, the Sailor's Kiss one is just that perfect decisive moment. As I said before, it's summarising the end of something. So it's summarising all those years and that moment where they meet again. That's why I put the one afterwards in of the Squaddy sneaking a kiss through a hole in a wall, which is just lovely. It's that moment that couldn't have happened any other way and couldn't have been captured by anybody else is the perfect decisive moment. So that's brilliant. Anybody else? Any other favourites or anything? Any questions as well? As I say, I've gone through quite a lot quite quickly there. Yeah, could you find those pictures of the baboons and post them in the comments then? I'm sure it's Wildlife Photographer of the Year. I'm sure it's last year. Yeah, quite often the Wildlife Photographer of the Year is a really good one to look for things like this. And I think I try and take quite a lot of inspiration for it. For studio work, it's different, but it's the example of capturing so much personality in one image. You know, the winners will never be just a really beautiful close-up of an animal. That's something very technical that you can, with the right equipment, do. That's not what's making it a good photo. The good photo is the story and the personality in it, which is, I think, what this keeps kind of coming back to. So, yeah, have a look. Wildlife Photographer of the Year. Always fun to look through. Was it the year before and I was wrong? Sorry, Jen's just trying to look through for me.
Is it winner? Because that's...
Maybe it was 2018.
How do I find the old one? I think you'd be able to find the old ones, wouldn't you?
Let's have a look. keep those questions coming in, guys, though. I'm interested to hear all your thoughts, or... Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you the homework, actually, while we're doing that. Just to add to it for a second. Come on, iPad. Oh, dear. Yeah, some of them have quite graphic. Just add into the search monkeys in Thailand. It's not a baboon. Oh, yeah, put water. Oh, that's them. Okay, that's not working. So the homework is capturing the decisive moment. Whatever you want to read into that, whatever you want to take, that is absolutely fine. I'm interested to see how you all take that. You know, the worst thing for me, just so you know, would be everybody doing the same thing. So I want to see you all test that brief a little bit. We're going to go through them, so I need them Monday night by 6, and we're going to go through them again in Tuesday's episode. We'll try and post this on the group. I think Jen's struggling to find the whole set. Anyway, yeah, we'll post them to the group so everyone can have a look, because they're such a lovely set of images and they've got a lot of story behind them.
Link to this.
So yes, to summarise, the homework, capturing the decisive moment. So one image, whatever you read into the decisive moment being, and yeah, send them to us by 6 o'clock on Monday evening. Does anyone have any questions? So the good thing is, while we're ending it, we're going to be ending next Friday on a nice round episode 10. We like that. Which means the in-studio one will be episode 11. Not necessarily. Not sure what the not necessarily is for. You're a bit behind, George. How can we help? So obviously, as you're capturing action, or quite a lot of you are probably going to be capturing action. I'm not saying it has to be that. You know, the kiss is a really good example of one that's not action, but it's the decisive moment. If anybody's got any technical concerns or anything like that, now's a good time. Just let me know what you're thinking. See if we can help at all. But as I say every week, keep it simple. Keep it about that moment, not anything else.
What's the tips about? I would say shoot get in brightest possible conditions. If you
Yeah, if you're struggling to capture action and movement, light is very important. So shoot it outside or shoot it in a very well lit room. Yeah, just pressing that exposure and that focus is always going to help as well. So things we discussed in the phone photography episode are probably going to be pretty key here. Alright, I think everyone's gone quiet. Does that mean I've either bored you all to death or I've made sense? It's one of the two, surely. I can actually get my homework slide now. It's working. Boom. Better late than never, I suppose. Yeah, I'm aware I rambled a lot about that then. But hopefully that's something you can all work with, and hopefully I've inspired you, which is, in my opinion, what I'm here for. Not about teaching, it's about inspiring, which is what I always found at uni. It's one thing learning something in a classroom, but the bit you enjoy and get into most is the bit that's inspired you and that you've got excited about. So listen to this. In case anyone was wondering, that was Ralph barking in his sleep. Well, I should say woofing in his sleep. So now he's got a microphone on him, so you can hear every single noise. My tip with that, Jane, if you've got too many ideas, try them. Shoot a few. See what you like. You know, I quite often, even when I'm shooting with customers, and obviously I've got a few of you come in as customers on here, is sometimes I will try something and change it, and then change it, and then change it until I get the right one. There's nothing wrong with, as long as you're consciously making that decision each time and deciding what you're doing, not just randomly shooting, you're always going to improve it every time. Or if you don't, you'll change it again and improve it again. So there's no harm in keeping on trying things. And yeah, as I said, I do that very, very regularly. You know, I'll try something, whether circumstances or the person or the idea isn't quite right, whether they all change it. You know, I might suggest something and it doesn't look right on someone, so we change it and we try it again. I think that's the key part of photography, is it isn't just about pointing and clicking. It's about that decision making beforehand and during. So have a play with it. And as I say, if you've got questions, send us a message. We can always help you. I always like to help as well. We had a few people message about this week's project and throughout, and so we've been able to kind of advise and things like that. Can everyone hear that quite clearly? Is that like louder than me, him snoring?
Very good.
Right, I think we've kind of covered everything. I've done it all within an hour. That was quite impressively quick. Probably because I talk really fast. Jesus, dog.
Hotspot.
I know, I shouldn't talk to it so much. It bores him. Alright, well, if nobody's got any questions, we will leave you all. I mean, we could just leave. Oh my God, that. Shall I just... I wish I could just turn mine off so you could just hear him. As long as all the noises are coming out of that end, we're good. I'll just leave it. Should we just sit here and listen to Ralph for a bit? The microphone is only 3 inches from his face, which is the same distance it is from mine. So Jen sacrificed her microphone to throw onto Ralph. Come on, your phone. I think I need to take a picture. He's going to wake up now. He normally does when I'm taking a picture of him. It's like he's cuddling the microphone.
I think that's a good idea, Zoe. Just put live feed.
You just leave live Ralph on.
Webcam on Ralph for the day. Hey, Ralph? He's woken up now. I've said his name too many times.
Do you think you got a famous snore, mister? Yeah. Good. Right, we will... Now he's woken up and we can't hear him. You can subscribe to that, just live Ralph feeds. We did do it on Instagram once. We left a live feed of him while I was working upstairs and he was just sat on the sofa asleep. We'll do it again sometime soon. Well, he's on Instagram, guys, at Ralph Pug, if anyone wants to have a look at him. Wonderful. Right, I will leave you all to get on with your homework. I hope I haven't bored you all and absolutely overloaded you with information so your brains melt. But we will see you Tuesday at 11 o'clock. We will announce the winners of the project and the prints, so 11:15. And then we will go through this homework on the decisive moment and we will talk about what we're doing for the final episode, for episode 10. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. We will see you all on Tuesday. Bye-bye.